let's get this out of the way. Epiphone make great guitars. So we finally got one. Guitar World called it the most expensive Epiphone ever. They're great guitars. They're just too expensive. Is it worth that? Is it worth? Yeah, can I pay $1,400? The gas, yeah, that's when it. You know you're gonna do it, don't you? You know you're gonna do it. This is clearly a mistake. It's not even Black Friday. Click buy before anyone noticed. Hello, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Guitaristas. So we finally got one. I have lusted after this guitar ever since they were announced. I think it was back in February this year, February 2024. Epiphone announced, I think they teased it at NAMM, didn't they? The inspired by Gibson custom shop Firebirds. This one, the 63 Firebird 5 and the single pickup Firebird 1s. And the price tag was eye-wateringly expensive, wasn't it? This one, the Firebird 5 with the wiggly thing, 2 pickups, I think I'm right in saying it was $1,799 US, 1,699 English pounds. But I wasn't prepared to pay that amount of money for what I think Guitar World called it the most expensive Epiphone ever, excluding USA-made Epiphones, I guess. But it was just more than one step too far. So I thought I'd wait until the price dropped, as I thought inevitably it would. You know, fingers crossed, because I seriously did want this. So yeah, I've kind of been, you know, monitoring it, and they've wavered. They've come down a little bit, but just recently, last week, I think maybe with the Black Friday effect, they started to look a little bit more appealing, and they're all over the place for sort of 1,400 English pounds. So let's go recap: 1,699 English pounds new launch, original RRP, whatever you want to call it, recommended retail price. So when they start appearing at around about 1,400, 1,450, you're looking about £250, £300 discount, and and I'm thinking, it's getting better. Is it worth that? Is it worth? Yeah, can I pay £1,400? Is it going to come down any more? And the gas, yeah, that's when it. You know you're going to do it, don't you? You know you're going to do it. So I woke up probably, the next morning probably. I'm thinking, I've been dreaming about it. So I went on to Anderton's website, and fuck me, they've dropped the price even more. $11.99 they had them on there, and I thought, this is a mistake, isn't it? Because nobody else had them on at that price. This is clearly a mistake. It's not even Black Friday. Click buy before anyone noticed. So they were showing 3 in stock. I bought one. I thought, that's it, 1,199 English pounds, £500 discount from the new price. That's significant, and that, for whatever reason, proves they were too expensive to start with. So anyway, here it is. They've gone back up. There's no point you going online trying to get one for $11.99 now, because Anderton's has gone back up to, I can't remember what it said today, but around about 1,400, something like that. In the US, they're still like $1,699, and the Firebird one still $12.99. The Firebird one in the UK, it's around about £900 you can get them for now. That's £450 off the original price. There you go. We'll talk more about the price gouging situation later. What we're going to do now is review this beauty, Frost Blue Beauty. We're going to review it and see if it's worth what I paid, $11.99, or maybe what original price was. Well, it might be worth it. I don't know. Let's find out. We'll take it apart. We'll have a close-up look, poke it around, and play it loads. That's the plan. I've had it at home for a couple of days, learning some licks. It feels good. It feels good. So let's get a little bit deeper into it, and yeah, see what it sounds like, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about Epiphone price gouging. Yeah, let's do it. So first off, look at it. It's such a classic, beautiful classic design. So this is the Frost Blue, and the other one's the red one. There might be some limited edition ones as well, but the main ones are this Frost Blue one and the red one, and I can't remember what sort of red it is. But they're both, is it cardinal red? I don't know, it might be. But they're both really nice, and I was actually veering towards the red one. This was the one that I don't know, yeah, this was the one I was drawn to, but then the cardinal red one was the one that was showing it as cheaper. Yeah, just before I bought it. So I was going to go with the cardinal red because I think it was a little bit cheaper than this one. This was always the one that the price held up a little bit more. So I was so delighted when I saw the price on this drop low. I got, yeah, just, and I think it's the right colour. But I think they're both great anyway. Yeah. So what am I talking about? So it's proper Firebird. You've seen all the reviews already. It's a proper 9-ply mahogany walnut construction. You can't. I mean, I can actually see the lines under the paint here, but you probably won't be able to. But it's complete neck through. So this whole thing is one single block of wood, and it's made of a mahogany walnut ply construction. So you've got mahogany, walnut, mahogany, walnut, mahogany, and then these wings are stuck on. They're mahogany wings. Brilliant. Brilliant design. Neck goes all the way up to the knickers. I nearly said knickers then, to there. And there's loads and loads of fret axis. So it's a Firebird's a great guitar for SG lovers, for instance. Let's weigh it first and see what that means in terms of weight. There's a lot going on, so it's not going to weigh nothing, is it? Let's see. £8, 15 ounces. Just over 4 kilos. So it's yeah, it's all right, isn't it? Now, last year I reviewed the standard Firebird from the Inspired by Gibson range, the one without the fancy price tag, and a few differences. Obviously, it hasn't got the Maestro wiggle stick. It's got Epiphone pickups, not the Gibson ones that we'll get into in a minute, and different tuners. The only other main difference, as far as I can tell, is the neck. Construction on that one's the same. Neck is slim taper on that one. They call that, I think, a slim taper C, whereas this one's proper chunky. This is, 63 profile, they call it. So let's have a look at the profile and measurements of this on the screen now. Okay, here's the neck profile and measurements at the 1st fret. And here's the neck profile and measurements at the 12th fret. Now, I was just going to whip the strings off, and I've realised that I don't know how to, because this has got these tuners, which are banjo tuners. These are what they call Clusen planetary, what do they call them? Cluson banjo planetary tuners. So what I'm going to do is work out, well, let's do it together, shall we? What you notice, the low E is strung up here. Normally, obviously, because the headstock's reversed, I suppose that's, well, it has to be that way, doesn't it, if the headstock's reversed, thinking about it. But yeah, it's a thing. So I've just pointed that out. Let's, how does it work? Just the same as normal, I think. Yeah, I don't think there's anything. Do you see how that was stuck a little bit in the nut? Do you see that? Look at that nut's a little bit tight. Oh, it's fallen off. Right, yeah, as far as I can tell, they work in exactly the same way as normal tuners. It's just that they're arse about face. There you go. They're a kind of a recreation, I think, these, of the original banjo style tuners. If my memory serves me correctly, I had a Gibson Firebird once with the other style on, and there was something weird about, I can't remember what it was, but there was something that weird, but it doesn't appear to be the case with these ones. Right, I'm going to do the rest, and then what we'll do is we'll have a closer look at the fingerboard and frets and all the other bits. So with the maestro, you know, once you've loosened the strings, you just literally slots up under there. So very easy to get the strings off in one piece. I think. I've just noticed again that slot is, can you see that? It is definitely catching that, isn't it? I must qualify that by saying I didn't notice any tuning problems. I played it relentlessly since I've had it. When did it arrive? Probably last weekend. When did it arrive? About this time, I've had it about a week, and I've been playing it a lot, and the tuning has been fine. Yeah, I think the tuning's been fine. But yeah, that's I'm just saying. I suppose the difference you would expect on a Gibson custom shop version is impeccable setup, things like that. Look, you can see the I mean, this is the case on a lot of guitars. It's not just this one, but it's the case on Epiphones. Now, this is going to be a recurring theme through this review. It's just a standard Epiphone thing. You know, it's not a bad job at all. Epiphones that are made at a cost, that's, you know, it's something that you might expect to have to just go, oh, you know, just needs a little bit of a tweak. You might not expect that on an inspired by Gibson custom shop Epiphone that costs more than twice the amount of a normal Epiphone. Just saying. Right. That's not going to fall off, so we can carry on and look at the other features. So, it's an Indian Laurel fingerboard. Wow, it's impressive, isn't it? For a $1,700 guitar. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the frets. There's no sharp edges. Can't feel any sharp edges at all here. But no, as I've pointed out, it's a little bit tight in a couple of the strings there. Anyway, that's what it looks like. It's a polyurethane finish, so, you know, it's just like a, you know, I mean, it looks nice, but it's just the same. This is where this is going. It's just the same as the standard Epiphone, the standard inspired by Gibson Epiphone range, that are less than half the price of this. And the point I want to make is this. When these came out, and when the expensive Greenie came out, and some of the other expensive Epiphones, and actually I've just remembered this, the other massive price drop was for Greenie, the Kirk Hammett Greenie. 1099. Again, 400 quid off. I'm just saying. One of the things that most people online, if you look at, you know, when Epiphone launched these things, you know, their social medias, it's great fun in the comments with all the negative comments, you know, about the prices. It's all about the prices. You know, people aren't dissing the guitars. We know they're good guitars, but the prices. But then there's there's a handful of people that support it and go, well, Epiphone's a premium brand now, you know. It's fine to charge those prices. Then, you know, the guitars, the point I'm making is the guitars aren't any different. The guitars are not any different apart from they add a few premium parts. Gibson pickups, banjo tuners. Oh yeah, that's it really, isn't it? Oh, maestro. These things, the addition of these things, and a hard case, okay, if you like, they cost tens of dollars, not hundreds of dollars. These do not cost hundreds of dollars. These do not cost hundreds of dollars. In a factory setting, they might do if you buy them retail, but in a factory setting, they cost tens of dollars. That's the only difference. Okay, so where am I going? Yeah, it's the same, isn't it? It's the same. It's a poly finish. It's an Indian laurel fingerboard. Yeah, it's got a different shape neck and some premium parts. I'm not saying it isn't any good, okay? Don't think I'm not dissing the guitar. I'm just saying these things aren't sufficient to justify that price. So let's have a look at this. Now they say in the blurb that this has been redesigned. What's the difference then? What have they done? I can see they've put a bit of foam under that. Apart from that, it looks, can I get that off? No, I'm not going to. Normally, it's the first time I've ever seen, I'll photograph that in a bit so you can see what I'm talking about. There's a little bit of foam under this, where that's spring basically, that bit of metal, there's a spring. Normally just rubs against the body. That's got a bit of foam under it. Apart from that, it all looks standard. I saw Trogley's review and he took that off and it all looks just a standard Maestro. Obviously it's got an Epiphone engraved on it rather than Gibson. Okay, the bridge is slightly different to the standard Epiphone lock tone. It's not a lock tone. They call this the Epiphone ABR. It's got a B2 on it. Definitely seen that somewhere before. But this looks like it's got 4mm posts as opposed to the larger 6mm import ones. And a more discreet, oh yeah, that's what they've done. They've put these adjustment wheels on it, which is very cool. That's a cool little vintage nod. And they've gone as far as to reduce the size of the bushings that go into the guitar to make them look a little bit more authentic. Obviously on originals, these posts would screw directly into the wood. So that's one of my favourite new features, I think. What I just wanted to do is see, because we can, if a Gibson bridge will fit on it. 1 second. I've got a couple of, this is an authentic Gibson ABR1. It's gold. I bought that as a spare for my Les Paul Custom. Let's see if it goes on. Yeah. With a little bit of, oh no, yeah, it's gone. There you go. Which of course also means this is a Faber Germany. Oh no, I bought this for an import. I don't know. What did I do? Yeah, it does. It's a Faber Germany, 4mm, goes straight on as well. There you go. So there you go, that's interesting. So you've got an Epiphone, which USA parts will fit. That's good, I like that, it's good, very good indeed. That's worth a couple of quid, isn't it? What, how much, $50? Right, what should we do now? Let's take some pickup readings. Right, so these are Gibson USA pickups, and they call them mini humbucker Firebird pickups, which is, I'm a little bit unclear whether or not they're mini humbuckers or Firebird pickups, because those are different. There's different construction between mini humbuckers and Firebird pickups. They're the same look and they're the same size, but the way that they wind the wire around the magnets and stuff, you know, is different. Something like that, something different about them. So I'm not sure, it's not clear whether or not these are Firebird pickups or mini humbuckers. If anyone knows the answer, please let us know in the comments, because we care about this sort of stuff. Anyway, let's see what the readings are. Oh, the Alnico 5 magnets, by the way, we do know that much. Let's have a look, and we'll start with the bridge, and the reading is 6.89K with an inductance of 2.36 Henrys. Posh inductance. Neck, I did that joke last time. 6.91K. I'll put myself off now. 2.44 Henrys. Inductance on the neck. I do recycle a lot of jokes, you've probably noticed that. Middle reading, let's have a look, 3.45 kiloohms. There you go. Right, what we'll do now is we'll undo these, and have a look underneath. Yeah, we'll have a look under there, and we'll have a look inside there. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I've got enough room to flip that. Just. So you can see there's a pattern number stamped on the back of these, and the sticker says reissue Firebird, rhythm reissue Firebird, and lead reissue Firebird. So I'm thinking they're probably Firebird pickups, and they're being referred to as mini humbuckers, because a lot of people think that Firebird pickups are mini humbuckers. They are humbuckers, aren't they? There's a question, I'm pretty sure they are. I'm pretty sure Firebird pickups are mini humbuckers, but they're called Firebird pickups, and they're different to mini humbuckers. Does that make sense? So anyway, that's what they look like. And inside, you can see nothing much. Just try not to scratch this. You can see nothing much, but you can see, I can see that there. I don't know if you can just about see multiple layers. Hopefully you could see that okay. There you go. And it's got the standard Epiphone QR code under the lacquer, which we're not going to touch. There you go, we'll pop those back under the pick guard. Incidentally, all the screws seem to be on straight, which is nice. There you go. Now there's the route, and switchcraft 3-way toggle. That's what that looks like. And there is the, you can see that in the light, inspired by a Gibson Custom logo printed on the control plate. So it adds value, doesn't it? And here you go inside. So it's got CTS potentiometers, 500K. It's got Mallory capacitors. You can clearly see these marked as 0.22 microfarads, whatever it is. 223J, they say. Mallory caps, which is something that it sort of started appearing on the Joe Bonamassa signatures, didn't it, a few years back? And they seem to favour those for the vintage styly guitars. Wiring. Don't think it's 50s wiring. Ooh, it's 63, isn't it? Why would it be? Why would it be 50s wiring? There you go. So there you go. That's that. The pickups, as you probably noticed, there are the coaxial cable, and they are wired directly as soldered. They're soldered directly to the pots. Unlike the Inspired by Gibsons that have normally got the push-pull connectors. There you go. That's what that looks like. And finally, let's have a quick peek under the truss rod cover. That's a fairly, oh, that's a bit shoddy, flimsy, rough cut piece of plastic. And that's what it looks like. Nothing to see there really, just looks exactly the same as a standard Epiphone hex key truss rod. There you go. Quite easily forget to put that back on, couldn't you? Right, let's put some strings on it, come back, tune it up, see what it sounds like. See in a minute. Here we are, new set of strings. One thing I have noticed, definitely neck dives. Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's weird. It's big, very long, massive guitars, these. That's what it sounds like unplugged. So with a maestro or any kind of vibrola, really, you do get an unplugged kind of area sound, which is quite nice. Whether that translates to plugged in or not, let's see. Right, I'm going to start with it fully cranked, no pedals, just so you can hear how hard these pickups are pushing the amp, which is the same as I always use, the Princeton 65. For that reason, so you can maybe compare how pokey these are compared to other guitars that I've reviewed recently. Very bright. Ooh, straight in with the tone controls we are today. Overreaching myself there, wasn't I? Hang on. What was I trying to do? and the neck. Remember, this is no pedals. Fully cranked. Bit of spontaneous, I have no fucking idea what that was, but well, it was a 12 bar of sorts, wasn't it? A bluesy bollocks 12 bar, which I think's what you need to do on this guitar. So that's just with no pedals. I've got a new toy today. I finally got a clon, like a proper clon, well, one that looks like a clon anyway. It's here's a picture of it. It's the Warm Audio Centavo. I think that's how it's pronounced. It looks exactly like a clon, and I looked at some comparisons on YouTube, and it now sound like it as well. So I'm going to show you now. I'm going to try something. there you go. Pause for reflection. It sounds good, doesn't it? It sounds good. Listening to it back just now, I think, or rather I didn't think it necessarily needed the clone. I thought it sounded pretty good without that before we used that. And then it sounded pretty good with that as well. I was trying to make it sound proper vintagey. I was watching Jack Pearson play Dwayne Allman's 63 Firebird in the Songbirds link. I'll put that, Songbirds link. Songbirds in a Songbirds video, I'll put the link in the description box. You should watch it. What an amazing player Jack Pearson is. So it's nice to get a guitar like this that you aspire to. I wanted one of these, that's what I mean. I wanted one of these because it kind of invokes that vintagey thing that I'm all about. I'm all about the vintagey stuff. And obviously the actual vintage Gibson Firebirds and actual Gibson Firebirds are unobtainium these days. They're so expensive. So what Epiphone are doing, it's quite clever. They're making them available under the Epiphone brand, which is what they've always done. Okay, that's what they've always done. But what they haven't always done is put Gibson price tags on them, and that's why I keep kicking off about it. This guitar is great. Right, let's get this out of the way. Epiphone make great guitars. I'm going to say that now, and I'm going to say it again. Epiphone make great guitars. I have no criticism of what they make. None whatsoever. And you know, even if it's got an Indian Laurel fingerboard or polyurethane, there's no criticism. They're great. They sound great. They feel great. And a lot of them are still affordable. A lot of them are still affordable. I know that they still make a lot of affordable guitars. So let's get that out of the way. So if you're one of the, I think they're bots in the comments. I think they're bots, these people that come in and go, but they're a premium brand now, they're brilliant, blah, blah, blah. You're stupid. That's what they actually sound like. And that's the sort of thing they type. And they must be bots because I'm sure... No, what I was going to say was they must be bots, but actually I think AI's more intelligent than that. It's all right, they won't be watching. This is about half an hour in, they've gone. But there's a point I'm making. They'll still say, but they're great. Yeah, but I know, but I said that. but no, but I said that. That's what I'm saying. They're great guitars. They're just too fucking expensive. But you know, what I mean is, they're too expensive, and I don't think they need to be. This is made in China at a cost. And it's, you know, we know that then they're not paying US labour rates. And to charge £1,699 for a guitar like this, or $1,799, it's price gouging, isn't it? It's price gouging, because they just don't need to be that expensive. A pause for a sip of tea from my Guitaristas mug, available now on the guitaristas.com website, along with t-shirts and hoodies. There's hoodies and caps now. Hang on a second. Oh, I find that tea or any beverage tastes a little bit nicer out of a Guitaristas mug. That was a word from the sponsor. I was going to look at my notes actually, just to make sure there's some kind of shape in this stream of consciousness, the bollocks that I'm spouting at the moment. Because I can't stop. It's kind of like this thing. I get straight away into the prices. I can't not do it because that's how I feel. $1,699 English pounds they wanted for this. They didn't get it, but that's what they wanted. I don't have a problem paying higher prices for, what I'm talking about is this. Hang on. I wanted to try and mention this. It's an Epiphone coronet, and it cost me 1,599 English pounds. And they're still selling for that. This is a USA-made Epiphone. So the point I'm trying to make is that it's not necessarily a problem with this. This is nitrocellulose finish. It's got American woods. I'm going to say that because people often criticise the kind of mahogany that you get on import guitars. This has got American-made mahogany and rosewood and proper Gibson parts. You know, the same as the Epiphone's got Gibson parts. This is made in the USA. US labour rates. Go USA, $15.99. You know, it's got fewer parts. You know, you're going to go, oh, well, that's only got one pickup. Yeah, but as I said earlier, that's tens of dollars, isn't it? It's not hundreds of dollars. It's a small amount of difference. Granted, the construction of the Firebird is a little bit more complex than this, but you get my point. Charging £1,699 for a guitar made in China under the Epiphone brand is just price gouging as far as I'm concerned. So there you go. But I think they might have won. I think they've won. This is really, I mean, I paid $11.99 for this and I was quite pleased about it. Well, that's ridiculous, isn't it? Because $11.99 is really silly expensive. Not very long ago at all, I was kicking off in a big way about the Carina Flying V and the Carina Explorer that Epiphone released for $12.99. I think that's ridiculous. And actually only probably 2 weeks ago I've said I wouldn't pay more than £1,000 for an Epiphone. But lo and behold, this week here I am being a hypocrite saying, oh, I only had to pay $11.99. Aren't I lucky? So while I might not like it, while a lot of us might not like it, I think they won. I think what they've done is quite clever, I suppose. It's corporate, isn't it? It's clever. I mean, there must be some smart people there. What they've very cleverly done is, well, they've made Epiphone an aspirational brand now. Maybe not a premium brand, but they've certainly made them aspirational. Whereas they were the budget brand, now they've got a lot of guitars that you can't get, and you know, you can't get a Gibson version. You can't get a Gibson version of this. Hang on, I looked. The red version is in Ember Red, by the way. I was wrong. It's not Cardinal Red. It's Ember Red. Gibson custom shop version. I mean, big price discount today. GAC in Brighton have got one. I think it was GAC. Was 7,399 English pounds. Down to 5,999. I want one for some reason. I still want one. Gas. These are the new hats, caps. What do you reckon? Gas. Keep it lit. That's what they're doing, isn't it? They're definitely doing that. This is great. I'm glad I got this, and I will. There's no way I'm going to be buying that. If I sell enough caps, I will. Come on, support me, support my habit. So yeah, I do think they've won. They've made them aspirational. I just think it's a shame that they've alienated so many of us in that process. You know, I just think that if they just calmed it all down a bit, there's a big gap still in the price between the original inspired by Gibson Firebird and this. That was half the price. So I think a lot of people are saying, well, yeah, it's fair enough charging more, but not that much more, please. And as I've said before, you know, £500 off on this, who takes that hit? I'm sure that there are occasions when, you know, they'll do deals to get rid of excess stock with the dealers, but a lot of times I suspect that dealers are taking that hit. And, you know, I'm sure the margins aren't that big to start with. There's and it's fierce competition out there at the moment. The market for guitars at the moment is really suffering. And Gibson are competing direct with their dealers anyway by selling these things and a lot of exclusives on their own website. So I don't know. I don't know where it'll all end. What I do know is I'm watching the price of the Firebird 1 at the moment. What did I say? It was about 800 quid. I'm wondering what the threshold of that is before I buy one, because I quite fancy trying that. I do. There's a lot of them out there, and there's a lot of deals at the moment. So I'm reckoning. I don't know. I reckon that'll come down to 699 somewhere at some point. So I've got my eye on that. In the meantime, just to wrap up this review of this, I mean, it's a great guitar. I love it. And I find it inspiring. I didn't manage to bang out what I thought I'd managed to do playing wise this week. I had to go at some stuff, and you know, as always, the red light fever kind of takes over, you know, a little bit. At home, I was doing some great stuff, and I was mucking around with slide, and I don't know how to play slide. I've never really played slide, so this inspired me to have a go. And at one point, you know, a few days ago, I was thinking, oh, that's great, you know, I can do some. I did try it. It was shit. I shall practice though. I shall take this home and practice some more. Watch some Jack Pearson. Watch some, you know, Derek Trucks. Watch some Dwayne Allman, and all that great stuff, and try and use this guitar as an inspiration to improve. I'm going to definitely try and hang on to this for a while. I do, you know, there's a lot of guitars I try and hang on to, but, you know, if I look at them, you know, 6 months later and they're still on the stand, I need to sell them, you know, to get the money back. So if I'm not actually actively using a guitar, it'll go. This hopefully won't. Hopefully it won't. Same as the Shinichi Ubicata. What a great Epiphone. You know, again, I got 500 quid off that one. I'd like to hang on to that, but I haven't looked at it since the review. So let's see what happens next year. January, there'll probably be a massive guitar sell-off again. And I'll look at stuff, maybe this, maybe that, certainly a lot of others that are around here that I haven't touched because I don't get time. They'll have to go to keep funding the channel, okay? And until enough of you buy enough mugs, caps, T-shirts, hoodies, or sign up to the guitaristas.tv to support this channel, this whole endeavour. Yeah, support the whole endeavour. It's about, you know, it's about feeding my habit, buying these things, but it's really to share it with you, and this will probably be sold off to someone at some point in the future. So, you know, I do keep the circle of guitars going. Don't think this is all about greed for me, because I've got less guitars now than I have when I started the channel. That's the truth of the matter. So thanks for watching. That's the most important thing, right? You come back every Friday and you click that thumbnail, whatever the thumbnail is. Don't be put off because you don't think it'll interest you. It's really important that you click it, okay? That first hour is absolutely crucial to YouTube channels, okay? And if you don't click it, it kills it. And I get the message and it says, your regular viewers are showing less interest in this video. Perhaps you should try something else. Well, yeah, I might, you know, a lot of YouTubers are being forced to try something else and do something else because that's what happens. That first hour, click it. If you haven't got time, just click it and let it play. Play in the background and then come back later on and watch it when you've got time. That's really important. I can't emphasize that enough because the algorithm, first hour, first half hour probably, first hour, certainly, are people liking this? And they go, well, they're all right, you know, not liking it that much. There's big variations in the amount of clicks. If you look at, if I get the thumbnail right, well, hopefully this week will, because it's having a pop at Epiphone. That always works. If you look at the Shinichi Ubikata from a couple of weeks ago. The thumbnail was Epiphone price crash. People have gone, yeah, let's get him. What's going on? He's having a go at Epiphone. 50,000 odd views so far. Last week, shit. Honestly, no one cared. No one cared that I was opening a cheap guitar. This week, let's see what happens. So what's important next week, whatever it is, if you still watch this, well, you're a winner anyway, to be honest with you. You probably will click in the first half an hour. If you're still watching now, me banging on. Yeah, I better shut up. I'm going. I'll leave you to it. Next week, click early, come back, buy mugs, buy hats, buy Epiphones when they're a massive discount because they're brilliant. Thanks for joining us. See you next week. Ta-ra. Bye.